Shine Runners Racing Radio Show is dedicated to the fans, drivers, promoters, and most importantly, the families of local auto racing. Our mission and commitment is Shine Runners Racing Radio Show is dedicated to the fans, drivers, promoters, and most importantly, the families of local auto.
And a happy Wednesday to you, man. We are back in the house right now, fixing to cap the cooker right here at the Steel tonight, man. I tell you what, I am excited. It's Wednesday. It's the hump day, and it's time to get into some racing, boys.
It is, man. We've had a lot of good racing from all around the parts this past week, man. We got some interesting guests, some legends on the show tonight. The Dirt Doctor. We got Dave Rutherford calling in from Maryland.
And that's cool. We've actually been able to span out and go into a little bit more as we're going to be able to start accepting phone calls from these drivers. So, you know, we're going to start tapping into a little bit more of that out of state where we can talk to folks, you know, that can't make it to the Steel.
Absolutely, man. There's so much exciting stuff going on. So, obviously, myself, Rooster, and Hollywood are here, and we'll go ahead and announce the rest of the cast here with us tonight. As always, we've got Racin Ryan with our weekly winners report. Upcoming races, we got the Magic Mike on sound. We got Miss Shandi and the Famous T.T. here with us. And
Shandy's actually going to be taking over trivia now, guys. So your chance to win some awesome prizes could be tonight. You know, just make sure you stay tuned in for that. And all you got to do is call in, and her and Miss T.T. will get you hooked up with all that. But, you know, we got a lot of cool things coming up this weekend as far as, you know, big races in our area. And we're going to be covering all that as well. Ragin' Rooster's outside. Got to say a big thanks to Bobby at Ragin' Rooster and Tony for coming down. They're still out there. I think they're going to be there till about 7:30 tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to get some of that fried corn, you got to stop by, get you some, as they're here just about every Wednesday. Come on down, get yourself something to eat. Don't do the cooking, man. Let them do it for you.
That's
you know?
Absolutely right. They were down at the NZ Zombie Hunt, too.
And what a good time. We're going to be talking about that coming up. NC Zombie Hunts down in St. Paul's, down at Triple T Raceway. Big thanks to A1 Portable Toilets, A1 Landscaping and Lot Clear, and a huge thanks to C&M Pressure Washing, our koozie sponsor, you know, for doing all that they've done for us, you know. And if anybody would like to advertise with us, just give us a call, man. We'd love to have your company on the show, you know. Don't forget, hit them up with, what's your line, the Instagrams?
Oh, yeah. Make sure that all you guys follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook, man. That's where you can watch us every week on Wednesday, 7 p.m. And we'll get into the rest of that stuff, but I think we're going to go ahead and turn it over to the Shine Runners Racing Radio chaplain, Miss Betty Kitchen.
All right, we'll do that.
Hats, please. Lord, we just thank you for the opportunity to come together again. Father, there's so many that need a touch of your hand this week. Lord, we just ask your blessing upon those that have that are in the hospital, those that have issues in the families or in their homes. Lord, we just ask your special touch upon each one of them. Let them know that we're thinking of them and that we love them. Lord, we ask your hand to continue to bless this organization. To those that are trying to come against us, Lord Jesus, we just ask that you take your hand and show them the right way. Father, we ask that you continue to lead us and to bless us each and every one. We ask that the blessing upon the food and the hands that has prepared it. Father, these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please stand as we're going to take it all the way back down. Glad to see Chad Sexton come in the house. We're going to take this one all the way back down to Willow Springs, North Carolina. What you say, JJ? Let's start your engines, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight at
Start 'em
Shoutouts
up.
Racing Radio. Oh, yeah, man, that one takes me back. I'm going to tell you what, you want to talk about a good time with that national anthem right there. Willow Springs, North Carolina, the first time I ever got a chance to see Neil Welch make a run through, and it never will leave my mind. Never will. Another day of it, buddy. Good mud racing down there in Willow Springs.
It is, man. We're going to have to get some mud race before too long. Like you said, Chad Sexton, 1-900 Chad Sexton rolled
Just
in
showed
here
up.
early. Yeah.
And guess what? He brought us this. I'm excited about this right here. Thanks Shine Runners Racing Radio for all the love and support. 1-900 Chad Sexton.
I'm putting it in front
And
of
that's
the
right
camera.
there, man. He is flying. Good stuff. Good stuff. Where's that at, Chad? Lee County Mud Motorsports Complex. That's right, home of Daryl Jones. Y'all had a good run down there not too long ago, as a matter of fact. Daryl getting in, back doing a little bit of racing down there. I think they got a spread out schedule for next year, not a every month deal like they're normally doing. But we'll tap into that and talk a little bit about that mud racing. As time to come, want to send out a few shout-outs. A big hope and everything goes well for Lauren Edwards heading down to Memphis, Tennessee. She's in the IHRA World Finals. She actually picked up the Fayetteville Motorsports Park Track Championship.
Oh,
She's headed down
congratulations.
there tonight, as a matter of fact,
Good
to
deal.
do some racing this weekend. So hope everything goes well for her, as well as Chris Ferguson, man, heading to the Dirt Track World Championship down
That's
at
right,
Portsmouth
Portsmouth.
Raceway Park this weekend. And
And,
Adrian-
there's a lot of throwback cars that are going to be down there this weekend, too.
I
man.
seen that. I saw Red posted one of your favorites,
Yep,
man.
that's right. And it's a tribute to Robert Yates Racing. You know, we lost Robert a few weeks ago to cancer. But I think it's one of the best throwback schemes I've ever seen on a dirt late model. Also, Davenport has he's run the Flintstone
Mike
Flyer
Duvall.
this week. Yep.
Yes, you know,
So-
and our thoughts and prayers out to the Duvall family. You know, and a big thanks to everybody who came out to the Shine Runners Racers reunion. A phenomenal weekend that was, man, and everybody putting in and helping us out to give back to that family was
That's
a great
right.
time.
It
I
was.
want to send a shout out to Mr. Jimmy and Tina Brinkley out there. How are you guys doing this afternoon? I wasn't watching the feed last time, man. They kind of got on to me. Had to make sure I tell y'all guys, hey, you know, out there. But man, coming up tonight in the studio, we have got a man that has been around racing a long time. I know he's a hero of mine. I've always loved him, man. Every time I've seen him, he's treated me with utmost respect
Yep.
that I know of, anyway.
And he's one you always want to have on your good side, too.
Yeah, no
That's
doubt,
right.
no doubt, man.
Especially if you got some little post-race activities and
Yeah.
you come up and check out, hey, man, everything all right? Yeah, it is now.
Well, you know, we talk a lot about racing. We talk to drivers and we talk about pit crew people, this, that, and other. But we have never had someone to come in here and talk about what it takes to get the track right to race on. And these guys, it's not like, you know, they can do it in one afternoon. I mean, these guys really work on these tracks a long time. And coming up after this commercial, we're actually going to get the dirt doctor himself, Mr.
That's
Billy
right.
McFayden, in here and talk to him for a little bit. What
That's
you
right.
say?
I think it's going to be awesome. Go ahead and take us to our first commercial, Magic Man.
What you're about to witness is a true and factual story. While enjoying a nice summer day at the racetrack, Emmett, unbeknownst to him, ate an astronomical amount of turd circle burners. What happened next is why you should choose A1 portable toilets.
Have those racetrack hot dogs ever made a second appearance? Have you scampering around like the last lap dash of the Daytona 500? Well, worry no more. With A1 portable toilets on your backside, you will have the best seat in the house. A1 portable toilets are a premier choice for all types of portable toilet needs. Construction sites, racetracks, events, big and small, A1 can handle them all. Contact them today at 910-484-5219 or A1 portable toilets at AOL.com.
Looking to ease the pain of cooking for your guests? Tired of hosting the party but staying on the grill all night? Let us help you. Ragin' Rooster, a fully functional rolling kitchen loaded with the official chicken wings of Shine Runners Racing Radio. Owned and operated by Tony and Bobby Jackson. Contact them at 910-237-4565 or jackson.bobby@yahoo.com. Ragin' Rooster Wings. Come get you some. Back at the Steel, and we are in the house tonight with Billy McFayden, the Dirt Doctor. Man, I tell you what, it's awesome to have you here right now.
Thank you, sir.
You work that mic better than anybody I've. I heard you got the pre-mic game down from the famous T.T. over here.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how long you've been around racing, man.
Pretty much all of my life. I worked at Fayetteville Speedway for 15, 16 years. I've been with Rockfish for a couple of years here. Worked at the end of the year last year with him a little bit over there. Bill W., he's a really nice guy. Really, appreciate y'all letting me be on the show tonight, and a lot of good people here, and I enjoy the racing over at where I'm at now at Rockfish Speedway. Everybody there, one of the guys messes up something, everybody's in there to try to help him out.
I've heard that. And we're glad to have you here. We talk a lot to drivers and track owners, this, that, and the other, but we've never had anybody in studio tonight. It's kind of special to have you here to talk about track prep and what it takes to actually get these tracks, ready before the first ticket's ever sold. You guys are out there way before, the first car ever shows up.
Oh yeah, we put in some hours, and like I told you earlier today when we was talking, it's kind of like fixing a cake. You put the batter in it, and you get everything mixed up. If everything's just right, it turns out real good. And if you don't, you have some troubles. But it's just we have to use a lot of water. It takes a lot of water, especially in the hot summer months. Right now, the water is a little bit easier to do because it's cooling off, and you get moisture back up in your track of a nighttime when it cools off and everything. But it's just a lot of time, and I put a lot of hours in, and me and Bill W. put in quite a few hours out there to try to have a good track all the time.
Yeah. Racin Ryan, you were going to say something?
Well, I was going to ask how many hours on a normal weekend does it take?
We get there. Me and Bill usually work on it sometimes on Thursday evening a little bit, and then Friday afternoon until 10, 11 o'clock on Friday night, and then we're back at it 9, 10 o'clock on Saturday morning until 5:30 when the cars hit the racetrack. I mean, it's just you have to stay with it. And it depends. It all depends on the weather. A lot of the track prep depends on the weather, whether it's windy, whether it's real hot. I mean, the weather has a lot to do with what's going on with prepping a racetrack.
And now I want to commend you, man. Last week out at Rockfish, y'all got a ton of rain, man, and you went out there and you worked that track and you got it back, and y'all actually got that race in, and I mean that was awesome just to watch you make that track to bring it back to life from what it was. The weekend actually it was the weekend before last, and you talk about weather. I guess you guys are kind of like weathermen. When you get it right, you probably don't hear anything, but people always got something negative to say if it ain't just to their liking, isn't it?
Oh yeah, when it's all good, you're a hero. When it's not, you're a zero.
But everybody's got to race on the same track, though, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's nobody running over nowhere else. They're on the same thing.
That's it.
Joe Swan wants to know, did you bring one of your famous paint cans?
No, but I'll try to get you one sometime, buddy.
Now, I tell you what he does have, though. We got a famous Modelo in the house.
That's
Somebody
right.
will run right over there to that refrigerator and get one from a man. Because, buddy, you know what? I'm going to tell you one thing. I've known you for a long time. We've had a good time at these racetracks. And I appreciate everything that you do. I know you don't hear it enough because you're one of the behind-the-scenes guys. You're getting the track ready, this, that, and the other. And you're what is actually making a lot of this happen.
Yeah, well, like I say, it takes time, and I have a good time doing it, and I enjoy it. I kind of got burnt out there at Fayetteville on the big track, and Bill W. is a pretty good friend of mine, and he had took over Rockfish, and I really enjoy going and getting the racetrack ready because, like I say, everybody out there is kind of like a big family. Mm-hmm. Everybody is there to help everybody else.
Now, what all does it take in telling? I mean, how do you know when you pull up to the track, you say, okay, what I need to go ahead and do right now is get some water on it, or we need to turn it up, or we need to just motor graded or, and I'm speaking out of my rear end because I've never, if you put me in that motor grader, I'd have run through the concession stand with it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. I'd keep you in line, Rooster.
So what does it take? How do you know when, okay, before you even get on the track, how do you know what I'm going to need to do?
Well, when it's hot weather, you're gonna have to break your track up. I don't care what you do. You can't put water in a surface that is so hard that it won't go in it. It just runs off. You may get the top wet, but you won't have no moisture below. I don't care who does it or nothing else. I mean, I always, like I told you earlier, I kind of roll the dice every time we race because when you bust that track up, you don't know whether it's going to go back together and stay together and not have ruts or whatever. It's a gamble. Anytime you're messing with a dirt track, it's a gamble unless you just leave it hard, add a little bit of water, and say have at it. I mean, it's just that simple.
Yeah. And now, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, and like sometimes, like I hear people say, "Oh, they're going to get the do-all out," you know. And what are some of the different types of equipment that you guys use? Because you've got an arsenal of stuff that you know when to go and put a pack car out there, or when you're going to have to skim the top, or I mean, what is all the different equipment that y'all have at your disposal?
Well, at Fayetteville we had a big do-all and a grader and a couple of water trucks. At Rockfish, we got a grader and we have a disc, and we got a water barrel, and you have to, like I say, the weather. If like last Saturday, it was cloudy and overcast all day, and we were kind of leery of putting water on it.
Right.
But then the sun popped out, and when it does that, if you don't keep putting water to it, it's gonna dry out. The top's gonna dry out. It's gonna seal up. And you're gonna have a hard, dusty racetrack.
And you know, like that, just like you said, when you're talking about wind, people don't realize how much wind blowing across the top of that track will dry that thing out. You know, with the water that's in it or the moisture.
Wind is your worst. It's your worst nightmare.
Is it? Would you say that it's worse than maybe the sun just baking on it?
Yes, sir. The wind will dry the top quicker than anything. And if you ever let the top get dry and seal up, you ain't getting no more water back in dirt.
Mm-hmm.
I've played in the dirt for about 37 years at what I do, and it's just, if you don't chop dirt up, you're not going to get no water in it. I don't care what you do.
Well, I hear a lot of people there, you know, and I know as a driver, I go out there and I look at the racetrack and I'm trying to make my decisions on, you know, how I'm going to set the car up. And you've actually come over and given me some pointers a few times when I've been out there and told me what to do, and it's worked out good. And but people will say, oh, well, you know, there's no high line. But I think mostly that's not because of anything that it has to do with the track prep or anything. I think most of them just too scared to go up there and give it a shot.
Every track will have a high line if enough people will get up there and use it. If you've got moisture there from the bottom to the top, if they'll get up there and use that second groove, it'll blow off and it'll seal off, and you'll be able to pass and you'll be able to race. We had quite a bit of side-by-side racing last Saturday night at Rockfish. Matt Carr and Sean Brierley, they put on a pretty good show there for a while. Eddie Daniels made a pass on the last lap on the outside for the win. Dustin Watkins went from the outside pole to the win. I mean, people have to use it, and I've preached that, but
yeah, if they don't get up there, it ain't going. And you know that not only this week was there side. I mean, you've had side by side racing. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I saw Matt Carr again. He made a pass. I saw Dustin Watkins. I mean, them guys are the ones that are going to go up there and try it. And I think even Thomas Brown was up there near the wall. I heard last week.
Oh yeah. Dustin, he kept coming by the other night, and I kept kind of trying to get him to come on to the high side, and I started to shake my fist at him one time because he wouldn't listen to me. He usually listens to me pretty good, and I don't know. You had a pretty good car the other night yourself, Hollywood, and I thought you was going to win.
Yeah.
From what I seen, he really didn't need a high side or 2 lanes. He was out in front enough. He didn't even need it, right? I'm just throwing some props in there for you, homie.
He had a good car, and I was hoping he was going to sit down there in winner's circle, but me and him had a little talk after the race. I ain't gonna tell you what it was about.
He told me I need to get my butt in the gym and start working out, because he come up to me. He knew what had happened. He said, "You got tired, didn't you, Hollywood?" I said, "You're right, Billy. I got tired." So he's gonna put me on a workout regimen. We're gonna get right.
Yeah, and you got Zoom crew out there with you. That'll help you out a little bit too.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good guy too.
All right, Sarah Hoffman said, "We love you," and Colin says, "Hey, Mr. Billy." Team Wild Child says, "Hello, Mr. Billy." And Miss Felicia says, "Share one of your favorite memories of Jimmy Edwards Sr. and the Edwards."
I got so many memories with them. I don't know. I mean, I growed up with all of them. Me and Curtis started school in the 1st grade together, and I mean, I've grown up with them all my life and raced with them and fought with them and everything else. But I don't know. I'd have to think about that a little bit, Tabitha, to see which one would be my favorite memory of them.
We were talking a little bit earlier, about track prep. And do y'all use anything within your track? You just go straight with water, or what do you do? I know some tracks put calcium in to get the bite more. What do you guys? What's your normal potion, so to speak?
All we do is use H2O, Purple Rain. we got a pond behind the track over there, and that's what we do is take the water out of it, and all we put on our racetrack is water. We've never put nothing on there besides that. We have some pretty good dirt over there, and it takes a lot of it. But as far as putting anything on a racetrack, we never have done that. At Fayetteville a few times when Larry Norris had it and stuff, we would put a little bit of washing powder in there, but I don't know. A lot of people use Stay Wet, and I guess it helps some, but it makes everything real slimy.
Is that with the washing powder? Is that something that kind of helps keep the moisture in it, or keep it packed together, or what exactly is the purpose of the washing powder?
It just gives it a little bit of grip to it. When it starts drying out a little bit, it'll still have a little grip to it.
Now, these guys, as far as tire prepping, and I know in go-karts, they're using all kinds of everything. I mean, if I would have got stopped coming out of Lowe's last year, I probably would have got fined. There was no telling what they'd have thought I was making. But when these guys go out there with their tire prep on, does that work to help the track, or does that work just to help the driver, or does it affect the track?
Well, the tire prep, I guess is okay, but if you got to put tire prep on to get it hooked up, you ain't doing your job.
I hear you. I hear you.
I mean,
I thought you were going to say something.
I mean, I understand the go-karts maybe using it, but other cars, I've never seen. I mean, it's won some races for some people, but it's got them in some trouble too.
Now, does different classes, like say, and I'm just going to say for a big track, because you've worked big tracks before, say if like Lucas Oil's coming, are you prepping the track different because these super late models are turning, biting harder, or is it the same pattern every week? What do you do as far as that goes?
Well, we always try to at Fayetteville, me and my brother Freddie Maynard and my son-in-law Lee McLean, the flagman out there. We always pretty well got our heads together and tried to get the track a little bit tighter, so it wouldn't go to pieces with us. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, and I miss them two guys. But I really enjoy where I'm at now. Like I say, the people, just a different group of people.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't mind helping one another, and they don't mind giving the other man a hand if something happens. For instance, the other week at County Line, we had a couple of out-of-town drivers there that were a little bit rough, and they run over Michael McDonald and run slam across the front of his car, and he come in, which he was mad, but we all tried to pitch in and help him get what he needed and get him back in there where he can run. I mean, that's that's the name of the game. You try to keep everybody going if you can.
A lot of that in racing too, and I mean, AJ, you've seen that, through the years of, when we go mud racing, and I definitely have to say, Chad can contest to this. You get out there, you break something, man. All you got to do is go to somebody's trailer. If they don't got it, they'll point you in the right direction. And I've heard that a lot out of the Trogdonville down there. Blaine was telling us about that last time he was in. He was like, man, you wouldn't believe the people they'd take stuff off their car to give it to you. That way you could get back out on the track. And that's the camaraderie of racing that I remember back when Dad was racing out there at Fayetteville.
Yeah, and I can remember when I first started racing go-karts at East Mountain Speedway on 87. And we went out there and something broke on my go-kart or something. I was only probably 6 years old, and Dad said, well, run over there to them people and ask them if they got I think it was a Master Link or something for a chain. And I was like, I'm not going over there and asking them people. I'm 6 years old. He's like, just go ask them. I went over there, and I was nervous, and I asked him, I said, nah, buddy, but here, go there. And I mean, after that, I didn't have no problem
and
going
then,
asking
come on in the
anybody.
trailer. You want a hot dog? Can I get you a drink, buddy?
Yeah. I mean, that's how it was. I mean, it is a big family, and it didn't take but one time of me asking that question. And a lot of times you can even go to somebody that you might not necessarily agree with on the racetrack all the time, but when they're out there racing, they want to race against other cars, So if you can't be out there on the racetrack, they're gonna help you get out on the racetrack. They're gonna give it to you. You still they ain't gonna race you no less out there, but they're gonna help you out.
Well, Bill, is there anything else, man, that you could think of we can cover here tonight? I'd love to have you here all night long. We got to keep moving on with the show. We got another caller fixing to come in, but anything else that you would like to say, through your years of track prep and understanding to people that the job that you have to do. It's a tough job. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, like I say, I really miss Freddie Boehner and my son-in-law, and I kind of had told Freddie I'd stay as long as he did, but I got an opportunity to do something different and something a little smaller, and I mean, I'm not one to want to be all in everything anyway, so I really enjoy helping build over here, and I really enjoy all the staff at Rockfish Speedway, and I still love Fayetteville Speedway. That's as far as I'm concerned, it's as good a place as there is anywhere else to run. But just some things, and I really enjoy. I still enjoy racing, but I'm getting old, and I'm gonna do it a couple of more years, and then I'm going home.
I heard that.
I'm gonna still go watch them race because I love racing.
Well, I want to tell you thank you for all the years of advice you've given me when I've come off the track, and you've come over there and kind of told me a turn here or some wedge there or whatever it might be. And any more advice you got for me for the rest of the year?
No. I'll come over there to the trailer and get you straight before we get started.
Anybody else on the panel got any questions for Bill?
Bill W. just said, nice hat.
Tell him I appreciate it.
You just told him.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Billy McFayden in the house of Dirt Doctor. Thank you so much for coming out tonight, man. We greatly appreciate you.
I do need me one of them new pink Shine Runner hats, though, because I wear a pink hat in October for breast cancer awareness.
Mm-hmm.
They've seen me, Tabitha and them seen me the last few weeks. The whole month of October, I'll have my pink hat on at the racetrack.
I heard that. And to all the ladies out there who has went through that, our hearts and thoughts and everything, we're right behind y'all. So, we're behind Breast Cancer Awareness Month right here. Thank you, Billy. And thanks again so much for coming in, man. We greatly appreciate you. And I hope to get out there to Rockfish, see you here for too long.
If you don't come, I'm going to do something to you.
I hear you. Sound like we need to head that way. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a commercial. When we come back, we're going to take it down to the pits with Racin Ryan for your upcoming races.
A1, your only stop for landscaping and lot clearing in the Fayetteville and surrounding areas. Specializing in commercial and residential, A1's skilled technicians are ready to meet your needs. Experienced in erosion control, landscaping, irrigation, sod, grading, demolition, and lot clearing. A1 is willing and capable of all jobs, big or small. Call A1 today at 910-858-0003 or email a1lotclearing@aol.com. A1 Landscaping and Lot Clearing. We take the work out of yard work.
Look at those parts to put you in the winner circle? Let Redline Speed Shop be your one stop for all performance needs. From straight strip to left turns, they have it all. Tires, fuel, and safety equipment, and that's just the beginning. Come by today, 404 Hope Mills Road, and get your win on with Redline Speed Shop. Man, is that not cool to be able to talk to, a lot of different people and keep it moving, get all the information out from track owners, track officials, drivers? I love it, man. I love it here.
And like we said, man, a lot of people don't realize how much goes into those dirt tracks when we're not there. When we have a bad race and, we're kind of looking for a scapegoat, whether it's, we don't have new tires or, the track wasn't good, so we look for somebody to blame it on, but it's not their fault, man. Dirt is dirt. You know? I mean, you can only do what you can do, and it's up, a lot of times you're fighting Mother Nature, but
You're
I
right.
think we're going to head on down to Racin Ryan, who's going to come up with the, I believe it's the upcoming racers report.
All right, so this Friday and Saturday night, Fayetteville Motor Speedway is hosting the Cash Money 100. Friday night's event will be the Bryan Honda Pure Stock Blitz, Legend Cars, U-Cars, and open practice for all divisions. Saturday night will be the King of the Super Streets and $10,000 to win 100-lap Budweiser late models. There's expected to be like 50 or 55 cars.
A lot
or
of big
more.
names.
Yeah, a lot of people coming to that one.
Also, Diet Mountain Dew Modifieds, Bryan Honda Pure Stock Blitz again, Super Stock 4s, and it'll also be the last points race of the season. Fayetteville Motorsports Park, it's the 12th annual fundraiser for Caper Valley Friends of the Cancer Center, Saturday and Sunday. Gates will open at 8 a.m. They will have a walk for a cure at 8 till 10 a.m. Racing action includes a $4,000 to win foot brake race. Rockingham Dragway will have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday $5,000 to win races for Super Pro and foot brake. All 3 nights will be $5,000 to win races. October 20th and 21st at Piedmont Dragway, they'll host the King of the Grudge motorcycles. It's a custom bike show, and it's titled the Pinked Out Fall Classic. And that'll wrap up this weekend.
Man, I'm actually looking forward to that, Fayetteville Motor Speedway.
And I think Magic Man actually there was a couple of other ones that he had found. I'll drive right here so you can talk about them, Magic Man. But the one that you were talking about.
I think 710's got something going on this weekend coming up too. It's a lot of drag racing rolls in a little bit deeper into the season, but you got 710. You got Galat is also running. They're doing a test and tune tomorrow night. You can go and check them out. And that's the only other couple of things we found going on in the area right now. But
also, Saturday at Fayetteville Motorsports Park, the CCRA Stock Super Stock Combo, they actually have a double race this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And then the Friday night Gamblers Race has been moved now to Sunday due to weather. So the drag strip will also be racing Saturday and Sunday this week.
And a couple more races is going to be coming up. The IHRA World Finals is down in Memphis, Tennessee. Like we said, hope all best wishes going out to Lauren Edwards as she makes her way down there. And the Dirt Track World Championship at Port Smith. And actually, the World 100's coming up, correct?
No, they've already had the World 100. It's the World Finals.
World Finals coming up.
And me and
Charlotte.
me and Magic Man heading down Wednesday to go to that. Racing Ryan, I think you're going too. You're going to head down
Hopefully Thursday. If I'm allowed.
If Mama Swan lets them play hooky.
Now,
She's shaking her head.
Yeah, she
no.
said negative.
Some of these drivers that's actually going to be coming down this weekend, this is a huge payout right here at the house. $10,000, man. And I know a lot of good drivers going to be coming down. Willie Milliken coming down. Sean Sewell going to be in the house. And a lot of drivers from all over the place is actually going to. Mason Price is actually supposed to be making his way down here.
yeah, I got a chance to talk with Swanee over there at Gen 3, and he gave me a nice little rundown of some people coming in. So you're going to have Holcomb's going to be there. Matt Long, you have a lot of your local guys here. Sean Sewell will be in there. The Blackwells will be in as well. Dustin Mitchell, Zach Cox. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's about 50 or so guys that have going to roll out and put on a show. So I would get there.
They've actually got racing Friday night as well.
Right.
I heard they've got a pit party going on Friday night too.
That's always fun.
So and we were actually able to come down for the last one. Man, it was a lot of good times. And so you guys and ladies make your way on down to Fayetteville Motor Speed. The Legends are actually supposed to be racing Friday night there, homie.
Yeah, we're gonna be there Friday night racing. I got my brakes fixed.
Have you got any other prizes for
I do. I've actually got this for Shandi. I'll hold this right up here. Let me switch that to if you could switch it to see if we can get that up right there. So basically what this is this the official bleep talking restrictor plate. And this stops all the bull. And basically the way you use this piece right here is anytime you get to thinking, Shandi, that you want to start talking junk, you just put it over your mouth. It'll stop all that right there. So I'm gonna give that to her. She can take that with her to the racetrack.
That's
or
hilarious
on the show. So.
I tell you what, you impressive this past week. You had a little issue with your brakes, but down at Rockfish, man, you were wheeling that car. I mean, I was
gonna take this thing off then, ever.
Well, see, it didn't take you but 1 week to learn.
Didn't even have to come with instructions either.
No, it doesn't. She already knew.
You technically didn't even finish. We don't want to even start
No,
that.
no,
we don't
I
want to
did.
even start that.
Oh my!
He's still finished in front of you.
Yeah.
AKA finished.
And I'll take that. He did. Matt ran a good race, and Eddie bringing home the win. Well, I think Willie. notice every time that she starts talking, she pulls it away from her mouth. That's why it's not working.
Yeah.
But we had a good car, man. I got to give a big shout out to Zoom Croom Cuts, Jonathan Croom. He's my tire man, and he really got it going. A big shout out also to the JYD Junkyard Dog coming over and helping me get that thing set up. And
it's always cool to hang out with that guy. He got to telling me about. He said the louder the music got across the street, the more the party started happening. And y'all found some Ronnie Millsap kind of turned into some old days of racing.
It did, man. We were sitting over there. We were like, well, maybe we should go to that party. I said, nah, man, they usually close it down around 12. Well, about 1:30, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, kept going, and I kept hearing. I was like, no, I just need to stay home.
It's coming up. Speaking of coming up this week, let me go back. Your happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you,
coming
man.
up this
Yeah,
week.
5
You and
years.
Miss Amanda.
Yep, old Panda.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my wife, man, we got 2 beautiful kids, Blaze and Axel, and so I just, thank you to her. She does a lot, man, lets me race, and is a big part of my life, and I know I give her hell for, being out there working on the race car, but she lets me do it. So thank you, honey. I love you.
Also want to say happy birthday to Lance Brasington, man. Happy birthday to Lance. Lance usually comes out. He must be at the strip club tonight or something. But
They check his ID because he looks underage.
But happy birthday going out to you, Lance. At this time, we are going to take it down to mail time. If anybody would like to do mail time, all you got to do is send a product or send something. I mean, we've had moonshine sent from West Virginia. Mm-hmm. We had a redneck survival kit sent from Arkansas. We've had fedoras sent from everywhere. We had our shine shirts from the McLeans. Mm-hmm. So, big thanks to those folks. And we have one here. This comes from David Blankenship and Porky Sellers to the Shine Runners Racing Radio. And, those guys, we'd like to say big thanks to those guys. They actually come down. Porky was on the show. Porky does a lot of the street outlaw stuff. Yeah. Now he's into drag racing. Used to be huge into mud racing. But
we actually had one of his videos on the show of him at when they had I think it was Street Outlaws was down here at Fayetteville, and he was running up against one of those guys. Yep.
But just wanted to read the note. They donated $300. Was donated by David Blankenship and Porky Sellers. Thank you for all Shine Runners is doing for the racing community. We would like to donate $300 to your cause. And right here, and I think he's here tonight. Emmett, if you'd come over here. $100. Emmett was on the show last week, and Emmett's doing some stuff for Cape Fear High School. Y'all are actually it's Socks for Homeless or Get Warm for Winter or something like that.
It's called Socktober.
Socktober. And basically, what is Socktober?
Socktober is where schools nationwide donate socks to the less fortunate.
Right. So here is $100 from David Blankenship and Porky Sellers for you to donate to your school or to go buy socks, to donate to your thing. There you go, buddy. And I'm proud of you, man. I'm just going to tell you, it's great to see. How old are you?
15.
It's great to see that.
Yeah.
It really is. And you with your heart, man, and all that you're trying to do to help folks, that's awesome. So take this $100, go buy the socks or whatever it is that you need for your school, donate it. And you actually got an award from the show last week from your principal at school, right?
Yes, the principal came up to me the day after and actually gave me like this challenge coin for showing good leadership or showing some kind of form of good citizenship.
That's awesome, man.
And out of the school.
Cool. Well, thank you for what you're doing. So take this back. And a big thanks to David Blankenship and Porky Sellers
so
for
much,
you guys
guys.
doing what you're doing. The other $200, as everybody knows or folks that may not know, we are actually doing helping the Epicenter Church with Feed the Homeless, Feed the Community. Mm-hmm. We're actually going to be going to Cape Fear Valley, feeding some nurses there, some fire departments, feeding some officers and firefighters as well that day. So it's going to be a great thing we're doing, and they donated the other $200 is going to be going into that drive to cook Thanksgiving dinner for the folks who wouldn't have it this year.
That's awesome, man.
So
Thank you guys so much. And, if you want to be a part of Mail Time, all you have to do is send in your product or whatever it may be to 3392 Dunn Road, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28312, care of Shine Runners Racing Radio. And we'll open that on the air. And again, a big thanks to those guys for what they did.
they've actually got a trailer they're trying to sell tickets for right now. We'll tag David Blankenship and Porky Sellers. You can get in contact with those guys. And it's like a raffle for a nice enclosed trailer.
Right.
So we'll tag you in there. But thanks again, man. Thanks everybody who's took time to sunglasses, all kinds of stuff. Ring was what they sent. Tried to get proposed to Shandi.
Oh yeah. A ring pop.
Yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff. We've actually we're stepping into a different thing now with our phone. We're actually able to call out. We have folks actually able to call us. So we're going to be talking to a gentleman tonight, Mr. Dave Rutherford, out of Laurel, Maryland, and going to be talking to him here shortly.
Yep, absolutely. We'll go ahead and go down to a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll see if we can't get him on the phone.
You're watching Shine Runners Racing Radio.
Have those racetrack hot dogs ever made a second appearance? Have you scampering around like the last lap dash of the Daytona 500? Well, worry no more. With A1 portable toilets on your backside, you will have the best seat in the house. A1 portable toilets are a premier choice for all types of portable toilet needs. Construction sites, racetracks, events, big and small, A1 can handle them all. Contact them today at 910-484-5219 or A1portabletoilets@AOL.com.
A1, your only stop for landscaping and lot clearing in the Fayetteville and surrounding areas. Specializing in commercial and residential, A1's skilled technicians are ready to meet your needs. Experienced in erosion control, landscaping, irrigation, sod, grading, demolition, and lot clearing. A1 is willing and capable of all jobs, big or small. Call A1 today at 910-858-0003 or email a1lotclearing@aol.com. A1 Landscaping and Lot Clearing. We take the work out of yard work.
Welcome back to Shine Runners Racing Radio. Want to give a shout out to my grandbabies, Emma and Macy. Peepaw loves y'all.
Man, you do that great. I'm going to tell you, we should hire him in because that kind of gives me a chance to take a break. We love you, Dirt Doctor, and thank you so much for coming in tonight. As we are getting ready to talk to Mr. Dave Rutherford. Dave actually is the driver for the 1K All About Doors, All About Wraps Limited Late Model out of Maryland. And we're going to get him on the phone and get to talking to him.
Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can give him a call.
Hello.
Hey, Dave. How's it going, buddy?
All right, how are you?
Doing great, man. Just want to welcome you to the show, and also I know today's your dad's birthday. Wanted to say happy birthday to Donnie as well.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. So, look, we're going to just go over a few things with you and just talk about racing in your area and maybe some of the events that you've been a part of that you're proud of and just different things in racing. So I'm going to turn it over to Hollywood and Rooster and let them take it from there.
All right, thank you.
Dave, what's going on, man? It's Hollywood and Rooster here with you, and we understand you're a late model driver out of Maryland.
How you doing, guys?
Good, buddy. How about yourself?
All right, just working.
Okay, cool. Tell us a little bit about that car that you're running, man.
It's a 2017 rocket chassis. It's for Bruce Kane Racing. It's not mine, it's Bruce's, but he gave me the opportunity to run into it a couple times. It's got a 350 in it, Cornet engine, sponsored by All About Doors and All About Wraps. It's we run here in Maryland, Hagerstown, Winchester, Virginia, and Potomac Speedway.
Well, man,
So.
And we've got some pictures up. I know you can't see it. We've got some pictures up on the screen right now of your car, man. I know you said that you drive for Bruce Kane, man. Tell us a little bit about some of the tracks that you race at, which Winchester, Potomac, and Hagerstown. Those are some big name tracks, man.
Yeah, we got Hagerstown's going downhill a little bit, but that was one of the best tracks we had around here. But we got Potomac Speedway. Which is in Bud Creek, Maryland. We just ran our last race this year for the Small Car Nationals. And then Winchester Speedway, which actually Bruce Kane is third in points, I think it was.
Oh, really?
I didn't get to race much. I got a couple opportunities to get into it. But growing up, I've been around it, I'm 39 years old. I've been around it all my life. So I've done a little bit of go-kart racing. My cousins raced street stocks, while I was growing up, so I got the feel of that. And then he moved up to limited late models, and I got a couple laps in those cars. And then, I had a cousin who passed away in 2013. He used to race modified. I got the opportunity to get in his car a couple times. So I've had a lot of opportunities. Just money gets tight, and family comes first. So, but I've been around it a lot. I try to strap in as much as I can. I didn't get a lot this year. I got about 10 races in. So, but the people that I work for and do that, they help me out a lot.
Right. And, and I understand completely where you're coming from. That was one of our questions on the show a few weeks back was the rising cost of racing and what it's getting to, this day and age. What do you think is maybe the biggest contributing factor to the rising cost of racing, and what do you think could be done to kind of bring those costs back down to where it kind of level the playing field so that, some of us working class guys can go out there and be competitive?
I say go back to like the older days, when, I know the engines the engine we have now was almost $60,000. Like I said, I'm not that old, but back in the day, you can go to the junkyard, get a motor, and fix it up and be competitive.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to compete with people who's got umpteen millions of dollars to race, and we're a low budget team, and it's kind of hard. The tires, gas, stuff like that. But the competitive part, you can win any day. It's just a matter of setting your car up right. So, but that's the main factor. It's the cost of the engines and everything that's bolted into these cars that makes it pricey, as you can say.
Yep. And I see here that you guys are actually working for sponsors right now, actually looking for sponsors. You mentioned a lady driver there as well.
Yeah, Savannah Windsor. She's a U-car driver out of Southern Maryland. She's won a championship twice. She's back-to-back champion in the U-car division at Potomac Speedway. And actually, we're going to team up together, and we're trying to look for some sponsors to get her move her up a class. So She's 17 years old. She just got into 12th grade, so she's kind of still schooling, and that's a big family down there. There's about 12 cars that race with that family.
Speaking of family, I see that you're fixing to expand coming up in May. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I have I try to do what I can do, I guess, as you can say.
Well, yeah, I see on here that you're keeping some good company. You say you're done racing for the year, but it's not going to stop you from going to a racetrack. You're headed down to the World Finals in Charlotte, man. I hope me and Magic Man can hook up with you and meet. But I see you're going down there with Rick Eckert and Devin Moran, man. Those are some big guns.
Yeah, Bruce Kane, he does the All About Wraps. He does most of the wraps around here, the local guy. Mm-hmm. And he wraps Rick Eckert's car. He did the special wrap for Devin Moran and the 9M car with the breast cancer awareness month. We're actually gonna we got a little secret coming out for Charlotte for Rick Eckert. His dad passed away this year, so we got a little secret car coming out. We haven't revealed it yet. We know what the scheme looks like, but it's going to be a tribute to his dad.
That's awesome, man. Well, our hearts and prayers are definitely going out, to them. And like I said, I hope me and Magic Man can definitely meet up with you. I'd like to meet you in person, man. Maybe get some pictures and stuff.
Sure, yeah, no problem. The first night of racing in Charlotte's my birthday, so I'm gonna go have me some fun. I mean, I wish we could take a car down there, but I can't run with the big boys.
Right. Do you ever see yourself coming down here to Fayetteville and running?
I'd like to. If we can get a decent sponsor to let us go down there and do something like that, that would be good. But it's just money. That's our whole big thing.
Well, if you ever come down, we got you a place to stay, buddy.
No problem. Appreciate it.
Well, guys, this is Dave Rutherford, driver, the late model driver, sponsors All About Doors and All About Wraps. Is there any other sponsors or a Facebook page, website, anything you'd like to shout out on?
Poncho's Racing out of Pennsylvania. Want to give a shout out to the petting zoo. It's a little thing we do around here for the kids. Doesn't cost much, like $5. We got a whole bunch of animals that come feed them and interact with the animals for the kids. It just gives them something to do around here. Garage Doors. He's one of the big sponsors on the car. He's actually one of the biggest sponsors that we have on the car. He's out of Canada. He does he helps us out a lot. He's one of the major distributors for Garage Doors out of Canada.
Okay.
So
I think we got we've actually got a question for you from the Dirt Doctor himself. He's going to ask you a little something.
Sure.
Do you remember the Virginia lead fruit, Rodney Franklin?
I sure did. That was one of our favorite all-time drivers.
He's my first cousin.
Oh, yeah? We used to watch him, growing up. I do a little drawing of race cars, and back when I was about 10 or 11 years old, I drew a picture for him, and he stuck it in Creed Cowton's trailer, and that's where it stuck until he stopped racing.
Yeah, he was a really good driver. I've seen him a few times.
Yes, he was. He was a hell of a driver.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Thank you.
Well, buddy, we greatly appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you so much for taking your time out, for allowing us to talk to you. And if you ever come down this way, we definitely hope to see you and get a chance when you're in Charlotte. Look, Magic Man and Hollywood up.
No problem. Well, I'll look you up, guys, when I get down there.
All right, man. Yeah, we'll definitely get in touch with you, and if you like beer, we can arrange that too.
No problem. I'll be glad to see you guys.
All right. Thank you very much, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Y'all have a good one.
All right. Take it easy. And for those of y'all that didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, we're just talking to Mr. Dave Garfield Rutherford right there, the driver of the 1K All About Doors, All About Wraps limited late model out of Maryland. And, man, that's cool. You know, we can actually talk to people all over the U.S. As a matter of fact, tonight I was sitting on here. Did I see somebody said that they were watching from Australia?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Also, Jason and Leslie are watching from Cape Fear Valley.
Yeah, and our prayers going out to her.
Absolutely.
I know what you're going through, baby doll. I went through that appendix surgery, and that's some serious stuff. Let me tell you about what Nikki did. So I couldn't eat anything but broth. Here comes this chick with a whole box of Bojangles, knowing, man, that I'm going to tell you what, I'd give my last seat, son, for some Bojangles. And here this chick is over there snacking on Bojangles. I got to eat ice chips.
Yeah, and speaking of Bojangles, if I found out we might be getting one on 53.
Yeah, definitely. And a big thanks to Magic Man for going out there and doing that work, man, to get the phone calls in here. We greatly appreciate that, man. And any of you drivers out there from anywhere, we don't care what you drive, get in contact with Tabitha, and we'd love to have you guys on. And ladies, anybody, all the aspects of racing, I think that's a cool thing where we can actually tap in and talk to the folks on all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on the I can't take all the credit on that because I'm actually part of a racing group on Facebook, and one of the admins on the group that I'm on, Michelle Riley, really is helped with that tremendously. So I want to give her a shout out for helping out with that and doing all the work she's doing.
You know what? We did a couple things different this week. We're actually giving Shandi, instead of her just running her mouth to you, she's actually got a purpose now.
Thank you.
Shandi is actually the one that's going to be doing our trivia, and while she's going to ask our trivia, you get your chance to call in tonight. You can win a C&M pressure washing koozie and sticker. And Dirty, we still got yours here in the studio.
And it's clean.
So what's that phone number?
It is 910-321-8299. 910-321-8299. What is it, Shandi?
What Winston Cup race gave King Richard his 200th win? Again, that question is, what Winston Cup race gave King Richard his 200th win?
Yes, sir. So if you got that answer, call in 321-8299. Your chance to win the C&M pressure washing koozie here from Shine Runners Racing Radio, as well as a sticker. We're going to be giving that out. That 321-8299. And the question is, what Winston Cup race gave King Richard his 200th win? And if you don't know who King Richard is, then I feel for you.
Yeah, you don't even need to be watching the show if you don't know who King Richard is.
While we're waiting on somebody to call in, man, before we get ready to go down to Racin Ryan for the weekly winter circle, I had a chance to actually go down and see Ryan Godwin at that RC Dirt Late Model track Sunday. Ryan was in. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Well, we got one. Let's see what we got. You're on with Shine Runners Racing Radio Show. You got an answer for us?
Yeah, I do. Would that be the Firecracker 500 at Daytona?
Nope, it's not the Firecracker 500.
It's
400.
There you go. Firecracker 400. You had me on the edge there for a minute.
Who we got?
Okay,
man?
Yeah, and I think the president there was with him at that time too, but I remember it.
Yeah, he was.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, he actually said, "Gentlemen, start your engines" from Air Force One that day. He was on his way to the racetrack, and after the race, he went up. Richard Petty walked up the grandstands.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that. I sure enough do.
Who we got on the line here?
You got Willie Chasen, AJ's father-in-law. How about that?
All right, I tell you what, but hey, they always come down to see the Nightmare Run, man. I love y'all, Willie.
All right, yes, sir. Thanks.
Thanks, man. We'll get that to you.
Okay, not a problem, buddy.
And also a little tidbit to throw in there. At that Firecracker 400, that was the final victory before his retirement in 1992. Mm-hmm. King Richard, man, he was NASCAR. Him, Dale Earnhardt, and all those good guys of the old school.
We also buried my mother on that day.
Oh my goodness
gracious! They're calling, but everybody's calling. We already got a winner, ladies and gentlemen, but you get your chance to win with Shandi next week right here. Don't forget, make sure you tune in. Keep that number, 3218299, as we'll get ready to come back next week, and we're going to take it down, ladies and gentlemen, to Racin Ryan for the weekly winners.
All right, so last weekend at County Line Raceway, they hosted the I-95 Late Model Challenge. It was won by Michael Rouse. Dustin Mitchell won the I-95 championship. He clinched that last week. Open with Modifieds was won by Chris Arnold. I heard him and Holcomb had a really good run out there. Pure Stock V8s was won by Brandon Whitley. Rockfish, Matt Carr got lucky and won the 600 micro sprint race. Look, if they wouldn't have pulled the 7 car off the track, he was a man to beat. I'm gonna just say that.
We love you, 2 Mil.
Andrew Daugherty won the 270 mini sprint race. Tristan Stevenson won the kart feature. The Legends cars was won by Eddie Daniels. Dustin Watkins won the mod lights. Remember that Rockfish's next event is actually the prelude to the Classic on October 27th and 28th. And finally, Jerry Johnson won the 100-lap race for the Heroes.
Yeah, and big shout out also too to Mike Ebach and all them for putting that event on.
That was a great event.
It
Actually
was.
got a chance to go down there and spend a day with Hooters, man, at the race.
Anytime you can spend a day with Hooters is a good day.
Yeah, you know, and some cool things that come out of that. I want to add one thing to your winners. Ryan Goblin that was here the other night. We were just talking about the RC Dirt Late models. Ryan won the Dirt Late model and the buggy race down there. And, Bo, that is crazy. If you ain't never been to one, you need to go down to the Chicken Snake and check that out. It's right across from Lou Mill Vineyard on Sundays. A good time, Bo. And them cars, I mean, he was explaining to me the setups and everything, and when they're coming out of the turn, I mean, they're cocking. Them wheels are getting slender. It's crazy, man. You got to check it out. But I want to give out this phone number right quick because I bet I've had 1,168,000 people call me this week. Ryan Godwin is the man to talk to. 910-874-2324 about the Dirt Late Model Racing. He's the go-to man. Right. The guy from Hayes Hobby Shop said there was about 4 or 5 people that come into Hobby Shop looking for those Dirt Late Model information from the show, and then talking about it the other day. So that's cool, man.
Hey, I'm gonna pull a Shandi from last week because Ryan forgot somebody on the winner circle.
Oh.
Ryan actually forgot Robbie won down at Coastal Plains.
And got runner-up in the second class. And how did you forget that?
Look, I didn't forget that. I was supposed to, well, in my mind, I'm not going to call it I forgot. I'm going to say I was waiting on that one.
Me and you don't have no beef together, and you forgot that?
Put Robbie on the mic.
Robbie, get on the mic.
Robbie Drawhorn.
Congratulations to Robbie, y'all.
Lauren whooped my butt in foot brake. That's why she's going to Memphis, and I'm here.
Hey, before we move on, I want to also give a shout out to Trey Sykes. He's a driver of the Omnivore. He is the 5-time SEVWA Sportsman Champion, and that's the first time he's won it in the Omnivore. So congratulations to Trey Sykes. He used to actually work with Panda down at Drugs America in Lumberton. So congratulations to him, and also Chad and Bell Groves.
Yeah,
they ran second.
Yeah,
in
second
the race
place.
for the
And
Heroes.
man, they were rolling. They actually had to come in about lap 40
That's what I
something,
heard, yeah.
and throw on a spare tire and ran the spare tire for the second half.
Yeah, they said they were like 8 laps down and had to come back from 8 laps down to finish second. So.
They did good, man. Second lap, somebody put one on the roof down there.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He got out of the car. I was worried to death about him.
That was crazy.
He got out of the car, walked off, and but a lot of cool things transponded out of, if that's even a word, out of last Saturday. Transpired, that word. Transponder is this thing that, I got you.
Thomas Brown also finished. He is the Future Cup winner in Mod Lights for this year.
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
That's good to hear. Good stuff, man. And he's an upcoming, he's a young guy. How old is he? He ain't about 14, right? 14 years old. We're starting to see a lot. You know, we've talked about it, man. We're starting to see a lot of these young guys that are getting into racing, which is a good thing because that's keeping racing going.
Yeah, and that mod light class is really growing too, man. I think they had like 14 cars there, didn't they, Billy, this weekend? And yeah, they're having a lot. And that Prelude race that's coming up, you really need to go down to Rockfish and check that out.
Racin Ryan spoke of Dustin Watkins, and Dustin Watkins actually put 7 straight wins, and that's 2 wins with the Bounty Hunter Motorsports. You know, so and they actually went down. He's racing for Jason Brown, where Jason won that car out of Texas, and now he's in it, man. I'm talking about straight making it count.
Yeah,
you know,
he absolutely is.
Did you have something, Billy?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to our little lady driver over at Rockfish. Can't pronounce her last name.
I
just
can't
call her
neither.
Lana B. But she's a pretty good little driver. She won just almost every one of the junior go-kart races.
Oh, cool, man.
Congratulations to her.
Good to see that. What I was saying, though, about the things that transpired.
There you go.
Actually, we went down and had that last Saturday with Hooters. The North Carolina Nightmare. I actually got to hang out with Mr. Rusty Steele and the Hooters girls, this, that, and other, and actually got to talk. And I got my fingers crossed. We're actually going into a meeting here in the next few weeks with Hooters about Wyatt racing.
Cool.
For the Hooters racing team. So that's pretty cool to be 8 years old, man, racing for Hooters.
That's right.
You know, I'm kind of excited about that whole
I
situation.
used to race for Hooters all the time, and then I got married.
Yeah. You know, we're actually.
That probably wasn't the best comment to make your anniversary this week.
Yeah.
I said, but then I got married. Now,
Don't
now I
worry,
just
don't
race for
worry,
wins.
because you know what? I stopped and bought her some beef jerky today. So
Thank
you're
you, Lord.
you're golden when you get
Okay,
home
yeah.
tonight. Hey man, would you like to kick in some more information about what's going on down at Fayetteville Motor Speedway this weekend for the tribute to Ricky Sullivan Jr.?
Well, it's 100 laps, cash money 100, $10,000 to win. There's expected over 50 cars. You know, there's a bunch of divisions, pure stocks, modifieds, super stock 4s, legends, U cars, all kinds of stuff. It's Friday and Saturday. The late models will actually be on track Saturday night. It should be pretty good.
Good stuff.
Yeah, actually, last night I tried to get in touch with Ben Watkins. You know, he won the Cash Money 100 last year, and the inaugural winner, Russell Irwin. I actually did talk to Russell last night, and we talked for a little bit. But I asked him a few questions about the race and what kind of concerns he had. You know, maybe running a 100-lap race and a 25-lap race, and he just had told me that when you run that 100-lap race, is just choosing the right tire and pacing yourself, and just not pushing too hard early on. But he said that that winning that race was a very memorable race for him. And then he said just 7 days prior to that, he had won that $20,000 race at Clary's. So they've had a little bit of a rough season, but for them to win this race at the end of the season would mean everything for them to end it on a high note. So we wish Russell and everybody up at Irwin Racing Supply and that 22 Rocket XR1, good luck this weekend. So
yeah, and that has really kind of turned into one of the crown jewel events. Just as a local race around here, is everybody knows the cat. I think it's third. Is it the third annual?
yes,
Yep.
yes,
Third
it is
annual.
third.
So, and like you said, we had Russell's car on there a second ago. Ben Watkins has won it. So
I
there's
hear
a lot
they're
of big
actually going to be
names
doing some
gunning for it.
throwbacks as well for this.
Yeah, I think Willie is going to be. He's got a throwback that's going to be on the
Yeah, he
car
got something going for sure.
this week, and he always has like some kind of Ricky Sullivan throwback on the car. So it's going to be interesting to see that. But as far as bringing up throwbacks, I know that we'll bring it up on the screen right now. Down at Portsmouth, Jonathan Davenport will be in the Flintstone Flyer.
Yeah.
And if you haven't had a chance to go to his Facebook page, they've got those shirts for sale
Those shirts
that you
are
can
bad.
order. Those things are badass, man.
And they're donating $5 to the
Yep,
family.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And then also a big shout out, man, to Dunn Benson Ford. This is Earl Pearson
at
Jr.'s. Yeah, man. Oh, where's my hat at?
Right here.
I need my hat. This car right here, as we said earlier in the broadcast, is a tribute to Robert Yates Racing. Earl and Kemp and them up there at Dunn Benson Ford have had a strong relationship with Robert Yates and, obviously with their Ford dealership and running Ford engines and stuff. So I think this is one beautiful car, man. I mean, those guys nailed it. So I'm looking forward to see how they run this weekend. And I've actually got the Lucas Oil Racing TV, so I'm going to be watching them.
It's cool that as racing goes along, we pay tribute to these drivers and these men and ladies who's actually, a part of history. That's one thing about it. The history of racing is so rich, and I believe it has a lot to do with today. I mean, we got here, on knowledge and mistakes and what to do and what not to do, and the history of racing is just as strong as today's racing. I do feel,
Yeah, and one other thing, with Dunn Benson Ford and stuff, Red sent this to me and asked that that we make sure we get on night. Their swap meet is going to be November 10th and 11th. And, as y'all know, they did it last year. It's a really good, fun time to go down there, go to Dunn Benson Motorsports. You get to see all kinds of stuff they've got for sale. I mean, pretty much any kind of part that you want, you can get up there, find some good deals. They've got some stuff off of, actually, their super late model team. So you're going to get some high-dollar equipment. So, and thanks to Red for getting us that door panel. I don't know if you guys can see it. We got it hanging up on the wall back there, but Dunn Benson Ford Motorsports hooked us up with that.
Do we have a picture of the car painted by Ricky Jr.?
No.
We don't have one.
It ain't came out yet.
Yeah, I don't think they've unveiled it yet.
But speaking of November 11th, for all you mud racing guys, 311 Speedway's got another big one coming up there. So if you're interested in mud racing, man, check out 311 Speedway and get that information going on. It's going to be a great race that weekend, November 11th. And around here, things that are going on this weekend as we tapped in, want to thank everybody that come out to Vet Fest down at the Riverdale. It was beautiful, man. Had a chance to go down there and go live, talk to Bryan, talk to Crow Kozak, which was the headliner of everything going on, Preacher Stone and all. And that was an awesome time down there. And this weekend, I know you're going racing this weekend.
Yep.
But Friday night, we're actually going to be down at the Vander Pig Cook-Off. The North Carolina Nightmare, we're working with him. It's a blessing to be able to drive, but it's a lesson to learn to pay your own way. So we're going down. North Carolina Nightmare is going to be there. It's going to have his go-kart set up. We just got word that Donovan Action Jackson's actually going to be down with us as well,
Awesome.
setting up the number 55 Mod Light. So you can get a chance to come check that out. Wyatt's going to be selling autographed checkered flags for a donation. He's also going to be selling glow bracelets and glow necklaces. Come on down, and all this money goes right back in to support Wyatt and his racing future. And it's a good time. Actually, Friday night is everything other than pig. They have a dessert, and they have like a food like goulash or gator bites or whatever, and you can buy.
Are they going to have any Mr. Core's chicken bob?
I don't know if Mr. Core's cooking this year, but I
Oh,
tell you
man.
what, if they did, I'd buy a whole bowl of that. But you buy 8 tickets. You get to go to 8 different booths. You can buy as many tickets as you actually want to, but you buy them in 8s. And you go and you taste the different foods, and then you get to vote for whichever one's your favorite. Now, that's on Friday night. They got a band that's going to be playing Friday, and that goes from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. They'll cook the pigs all night, and then Saturday they'll actually have the judging. The plate sale begins at 11, and the vendors are going to be there as well. We'll be back on Saturday, and the cruise-in starts from 5 to 8. So check that out, man. It's the 14th Annual Vander Civic Association Pig Cook-Off. It's going to be a good time right down there in little old lazy downtown Vander, man.
That's right.
It kind of reminds me of Radiator Springs. But
Yeah,
you
it
got
does.
Mr. John sitting out there with his funny hat on, and Miss Sudie's and a railroad
Miss
track.
Susan, man. I've been going there since I was. That's my hometown. Eastover and Fayetteville, but Vander, that's where I was born.
Yeah, Vander Tire and Auto, a lot, Mr. Bird down there, a lot of great folks down in Vander.
A lot of racing's come from right there, too.
It has, man. And actually, Jody Chavis is going to be down there cooking this year. So go down and check them out, man. There's a lot of cool things going on. It's great to see the community come together for all that, as well as the North Carolina zombie hunt. I hope y'all had a good time last Friday. I was actually working the trailer, but to listen to y'all laugh, man, that was one of a kind.
Well, I just want to say that I'm glad that I at least was the one that shot one of those purple Putin Pegasus.
Huh.
Yeah. That's right.
It was a rainbow Putin
Rainbow
Pegasus.
Putin purple Pegasus.
You got to do it right.
But it come out so quick. I didn't even know.
General Lord, is this what you sent me? These cadets, I don't think, could even hit a rainbow Putin Pegasus. That was kind of me. I was the actual general thing going on to the thing. It was great, though. I had a blast.
It was fun. And Blaze actually was that. There's no age limit, so I put Blaze on there, and he got to shoot some zombers, man. And did you guys have a good time?
We had a blast, and I'm speaking for everybody.
I think Ryan, he actually met someone out there.
Yeah, Ryan.
That's disgusting, but I bet y'all.
Ryan had a zomber,
I bet y'all.
a female zomber
No.
that was chasing him to his truck.
I bet y'all ain't never seen me run that fast.
No, we haven't.
I did notice you were a little worried about that. Miss Felicia, I didn't know he was scared. Can he actually watch horror movies, or is he
was
terrified?
he scared of the zomber, or was he scared of it being a female?
I don't know.
Hey,
right. Exactly.
I think we found the elixir to eradicate them zombers. We'll fill those paintballs with Racin Ryan's love dust, and he can shoot. She was sweet on him, bud.
Son, Timberlake. Hey, talking about shooting, Timberlake looked like he had a straight line.
Yeah.
I mean, we got done. There's a couple different stations, and when you buy the unlimited package, it's only $45.
Right.
You buy the unlimited package, you shoot as many paintballs as you want.
Then you just yell reload.
I mean, he come out the gate, Bo, just like there wasn't even nothing there.
Yeah.
He was just blasting.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but it still felt like a straight line.
Yeah, and it's cool because it's at night. They glow, so they look like little tracers going through, man. And you're shooting like there's pyrotechnics and fire going off and everything. It's awesome.
And it's all right there at 1120 Shaw Mill Road. That's at Triple T Raceway. You can look it up and go on down, check them out. And there's a couple different packages. You got a $20 package, $25 package, $45 package, and that's all ran. Terry Odom is actually a track promoter, and I saw the videos out there. They have tore that track up, son. I'm talking about pulled the fence.
Way to go. Unlimited is the only way to go.
They're still on the zombie hunt.
Yeah, I mean, they tore it up, man. They tore the fence up. They got a whole bunch of dirt out there, all kinds of stuff going on down at Triple T. Coming up on the 11th of November, going to be racing.
Joe Swan said, "Come on, Ryan."
What did I do? I ain't done nothing wrong.
You would have been proud of your boy running Friday night.
Cuz was ugly, bro.
Hey, you never know. Hey, believe me, makeup can do wonders, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can just turn the lights off.
Yeah.
You don't even know what she looked like.
That's all right. I'm good. I'm good.
They're talking trash about you, bro. It's okay. I got
we
your
go
back.
to the
You
next
didn't see him
subject?
running.
Hey, shut
You
up.
did not see him running.
I got your back. Don't worry about it. You know, we're getting ready to go into a little pit chat here tonight. And what pit chat is, ladies and gentlemen, somebody sends in a question. We kind of pass it around our panel here tonight. And all you got to do, what's the address, AJ?
ShineRunnersRadio@yahoo.com.
So you send in your question. We'd be more than happy to answer it. This one actually comes close to home, Little River, South Carolina. And Gerald Holmes asks, do you feel tire prep is the main key to winning races? Once again, the question is, do you feel tire prep is the main key to winning races? And I'm going to kind of start out by saying, to me, it kind of depends on what racing you're talking about. You know, we hear a lot about go-kart racing. I've heard guys say, if you don't got your tires right, you just threw your whole night away. And then you get into the bigger cars, or you're kind of racing with the legend cars, and you see them out there with the buffers and the scuffing and buffing and for-reeling and wiping and this, that, and the other. I never had to really we had turpentine back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Or Dextron.
We had some turpentine and some diesel, and we
diesel
would
fuel,
would burn it, creosote, there you go, and we'd burn the tire, you know. And even I got to talking to Zoom Crew. Man, he is so knowledgeable about tire prepping. And down in Florida, a lot of them guys weren't prepping. And I mean, it was like riding on ice. And then started prepping, and go-kart started handling a little bit more, this, that, and the other. I actually got to run with the team body down there, man. And those guys, you know, we were mixing up some crazy stuff. And it actually started helping. But, you know, I'm going to lean it more over to you with that question, because you would be more knowledgeable for it. Do you feel tire prep is the main key to winning races?
No, I don't think that's the main reason. It starts with a good setup. I mean, you've got to have a balanced race car. You've got to have, and you got to be able to, you got to be able to drive. but it definitely helps. So, you know, with that being said, in go-karts and in the past few years, it has went to chemical warfare. A lot of them say it don't matter except for those 4 corners. And that's true to an extent, but I mean, if you've got your caster and your camber all jacked up, I don't care what tires you put on there, it ain't going to handle. You know, and if you can't drive it, it ain't going to go to the front either. But there's so much, and Zoom Kroom, you're right. Jonathan Kroom is in my opinion, he is the best in the business. I mean, when he comes, like this past weekend, you know, I talked to him, and a big shout out too to Preston Hubbard. He's got a lot of good stuff that's the only stuff that I use is Preston stuff. But you know, it's not one of these things where you just work it out the track. I mean, you've got to start working them, you know, throughout the week, and there's different chemicals they have, man. There's chemicals that help the tire fire off. There's a conditioning chemical. There's one that gives you more grip. There's one that softens it. There's all kinds of different stuff. But as far as it being the one thing that makes you win, no, that's not it at all. It's a big part in some certain situations, and to some extent, I believe it's come kind of a crutch, you know, for some people. They can't get it handled, so they'll take the goat piss and just start rocking it on there, getting them as soft as they can, and that's not the way to go.
Racin Ryan.
All right, so I'm gonna give y'all the interesting answer, and I'm gonna say the ways to win is strictly having a lead foot and making it stick, and then fully on like engine, basically just car equipment. If you've got the best stuff, and then best driver, really that's about. You laughing at me? Did I say something wrong?
I was actually laughing.
You see, I've got this answer kind of expanding. So, really, I believe if you got the best equipment and you're a good driver, obviously you'll be in the front. But I don't believe tire prep is 100% the ways to win it.
Knowing what the track's gonna be.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it's the main key. There's no doubt that it probably helps some, but I think if the driver, you know, have knowledge of the surface, the driver's mindset, you know, having a fast car when you come right out of the trailer, and not having to do a lot of major work on the car at the track is a help. You know, just being prepared. Qualifying is a major key, I feel like, to it, because if you're going to get out in the front, you're going to start in the front and have to work your way through traffic. You know, and usually if you've got 3 cars that are pretty close to one another, the car that's going to get out in the front is going to be the one that's setting the pace. So, you know, there's not a whole lot of passing. If you're in the back, working your way to the front is going to be, you know, a lot more difficult. But I say that statement because I've seen Carlos Jaramillo wheel from the back like a boss right out of the trailer. So,
Right.
I don't know.
And now for the really most interesting answer, Miss Shandi.
For AJ, no, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't say that, you know, that's going to determine if you win or not. I'd say it is important, but it's all on knowing the track and how to handle that car, whether, you know, you're changing cars or anything. I don't think it's necessarily tires.
Tabitha, do y'all have to tire prep? I've heard of pimp juice.
We don't prep tires, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Prep the track, not the tire.
No, just kidding. I don't think it's essential. I think in dirt track racing, I think it starts with setup, and then I think driver is a key part of it.
I think, and you know, Rooster slid a note over here a second ago, and I really think he's right. He said shocks have come a long way, and in cars where there are shocks on them, your open wheel modifieds, obviously your late model shocks they're crazy now. I mean, guys are spending $6,000-7,000 thousands of dollars on shocks nowadays, and that's right. And do you remember a couple weeks ago we talked about NASCAR racing and all that stuff? I think what happened was a lot of the NASCAR teams, when that kind of had like a bubble, kind of like the housing market did, and it burst. Mm-hmm. And all these teams started closing down. Well, a lot of these engineers that work for these NASCAR teams, have started trickling down. And that's when the shock game and the dirt race and everything started coming along. And, now you've got these guys. I mean, you won't find a Lucas Oil or World of Outlaws regular that does not have a shock dyno in their trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. They got one in their trailer, and they're working them constantly. But you're right. Good call. Yeah, computers. They are working. Those engineers punch those numbers, man. And
I even seen the shock deal out at the dirt late model RC Dirt Late Model thing, and I keep bringing that up because I was blown away. I mean, these shocks on these cars, they're like $50 a piece, man. And Mr. Ronald Ballard, he keeps tagging in. If y'all guys have any questions about the RC Dirt Race and Ronald Ballard that's actually posting, you can go talk to him. It's actually his track. But man, like the front end of that car was coming almost off the ground, and he was just laying it in there. And I'm speaking of RC late model racing. It was weird to watch how those shocks were actually working the front end of that car, and it was just like driving it right around the corners, man.
And anything, whether it's RC, dirt late model, aerodynamics, people don't talk about enough, but aerodynamics in dirt late model racing has come a long way. I'm telling you, if you've noticed some of these bigger tracks and Jim, I don't know. I know you said you were thinking about getting the Lucas Oil Race TV subscription or whatever, but I've watched them. But they'll tell you when they get behind a car now, the way the cars and the bodies are built, they're sealed off down at the bottom. When you get behind the car that's out front, you're not getting the downforce. I will have to look it up and see how much downforce they're getting on those dirt late model bodies.
Yeah, I know a few years ago that when Mark Mincer was running with Jeff Smith, and
yeah,
they took cars into
yeah.
the wind tunnel and did a lot of testing with them. And
that was actually in a magazine. I think it was Circle Track magazine or something like that. Yeah.
We had a question come in from Flock Clock.
Flock Clock.
I guess. Flock Cloak. Who do you believe will win the Lucas Oil Championship this weekend?
Ooh. That's a tough one. I think you're obviously going to have to look at your top running guys like McCready, old T-Mac. Obviously Scott Bloomquist is going to be in there. You always got Earl Pearson Jr., but I believe it's probably going to be between those top three because they're running really, really close in points coming. I mean, it's championship weekend, so they're going to be gunning for it. But as far as a favorite, I'm not even going to pick one. I'm ready for World Finals. I know that.
Sounds like fun. The week before World Finals, we're actually going to be heading down to Rockingham and going to be setting up down there. You guys, if you're in Rockingham, October 28th and 29th, y'all come down, check us out. We're going to have our merch there.
Yep.
We're going to be actually doing some driver interviews right on scene.
That's right. We got our hero cars. We got our hoodies coming in.
Yeah, and if you haven't got the hoodie yet, I mean, the hoodies are actually coming in, but if you haven't got one, be ready for this weekend, man, because it's going to get cold. We can go ahead and get you pre-ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Before you even get there, you'll have your hoodie and your Shine Runners deal ready to rock and roll. And I want to throw something in there I forgot to mention. Like I said, we're actually going to be at the Vanderpig Cook-Off in efforts of raising money. Wyatt's going to be raising money for his 2018 season. We've also got you guys and ladies a chance to win tickets to the Rumble. That's $5,000 to win. Go-kart race down at Triple T. It's free to enter, but you got to enter to win. Come down and see us tomorrow night, man. Friday night for your chance to win that.
A lot of good stuff going on this weekend, man. Like you said, Vanderpig Cook-Off, the Cash Money 100. Stop by and see me down at Fayetteville Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have that piece running. Old Billy Matt. Yeah, Billy's gonna come in. He's gonna be there. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna need you in my pit because it might get a little crazy.
Wanted to say, before we get ready to get up out of here tonight, AJ, if you would show this, the Swamp Boys has got a boat raffle going on for a 14-foot double wide John boat, only $1. You can go down to Riverside Bait and Tackle where we actually held the Shine Runners Racers reunion, and tickets are only $1, and the money goes back to Fishing to Fight Cancer. As in the past, we have worked with other organizations to help send over $1,750,000 to children with cancer through that organization. So,
that's awesome.
And I mean, $1 can go a long way. And a lot of things, a lot of people, don't realize we really have a lot. We're fortunate.
We really are.
We're fortunate to go eat what we want or go do what we want, and we don't really think about what else is going on in the world with the little children. There's some kids that don't even get to eat. Miss Felicia's actually working on the Backpack Buddies. I think we're going to donate some stuff to help her out with that as well. But, go out, man. If you see one of these nonprofit organizations doing a raffle or something, I mean, it's $1, it's $2, you know what I'm saying? Give to them because you never know what it could be going to help, man. It would really, really be appreciative.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've about wrapped up. Shandi, is there anything else that you would like to say?
You really have not been running that mouth a lot tonight.
It's like she's like a South Carolina mud racer tonight.
Yeah.
Did Zach Blackwell get the call on that legend car for this weekend?
What?
Is Matt Carr not racing?
I heard Zach Blackwell actually is going to be joining the fight for Saturday night.
Cool.
No, Matt's going to be racing out of town, him and Brittany.
I've run him out of town.
Good job.
Hey, big shout out, Matt. I took my tires over there to put them on, or do a little work to them and stuff, and he watched them for me last night. So, thanks, Matt. Yeah. She is so quiet, man. It's awesome. I love it.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for Raging Rooster Catering, Hollywood, myself, Racin Ryan, Magic Man, Shandi, and the famous T.T. I want to thank y'all so much. A1 Portable Toilets, A1 Landscaping Lot Clearing, Raging Rooster Catering, Red Line Speed Shop, Bellinger Signs and Graphics.
And Captain Rooster Flag.
Yeah, don't forget that guy. I know that guy,
Yeah.
too.
Did an awesome flag, a Virginia flag this week.
Yeah, and a big, huge thanks to the Dirt Doctor for coming in, Mr. Rutherford for giving us a call, and Mr. Daniel Mezer for he won our Table of Champions. Thank you, Shandi, for hooking that up. All you got to do, just so y'all know, to win the Table of Champions, all you got to do is like and share. That's all you got to do. But for the crew tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're about time to get ready to get up out of here. So, Magic Man, if you'll take us out, we gone.